Hello! Today I wanted to talk about something where I'm already in the past months and maybe even years I'm reflecting and thinking about. I just want to help you to make you understand who I am and what I'm doing. Well, I'm certainly a very young, sparkling maker, and I love life and I love my work over everything. In the very morning when I wake up, before I get into the bathroom, I have already my first ideas about what I'm going to do that very day. And before I come to work, I'm living a little bit out of town, I have already other things I'm thinking, then I'm checking. Once I come here, I check my emails and my things, I answer the mails and I do my things. And then certainly I have like a very, like in your navigation system, I have already a very clear idea where I'm going to, which helps me a lot in everything what I'm doing, okay? For some people it might be very strange what I'm doing, and they don't really understand who I am and what I'm doing and how I'm working. Well, I have a very clear idea of how an instrument works and how it should be made, and on the other side, the point of view of how the instrument looks like. I'm very attracted by the old makers here from town, old makers from Italy. I think Italian violin making has a super great taste, which is very difficult to beat that great taste. And this great taste is still nowadays in daily life of people living here in such a great environment like in Cremona. But on the other side you have appearance and model and shape, choice of wood, type of varnish, materials used, preference in color are all things you can change, but there is another thing, a certain preciseness of how things have to be done, and there I have a very straight idea, a very clear idea, which makes me fitting a bass bar even for days. My employees, my apprentice, I think they live sometimes a nightmare because they didn't expect me to be such a maniac when it comes to this kind of preciseness, and only now, after years and years, after I have been working with Becker in Chicago, I realize how precise it should be and how precise I can make it and I would make it. And it's a dialogue which I'm doing with myself to calm down and not to step into the trap that every craftsman is facing, that he says, now, well, I make this, I glue it, and then I go for lunch. At that point I say, oh, Edgar, this is a mistake. If you like it, put it aside, do something else, go for lunch, have a drink, live your life, come back the next day, get a distance to what you've done, recheck it, and only in that situation, if you still like it, then glue it in. And this is for the bass bar, for the F-holes, for the shape, for the neck setting, for the shape of the neck, the preciseness of the fingerboard, the bridge, for every kind of single aspect of the instrument. All that in order to have a certain preciseness which I can measure. And 1/10 of a millimeter on a violin will be already so much. On a cello is more or less plus minus 1/10, maybe even less than 1/10 of a millimeter, okay? On a violin it's definitely less than 1/10 of a millimeter. 1/10 of a millimeter can be just from being a violin to be a superb one, and I only want to make superb instruments, okay? Nowadays it's not anymore like it has been 35 years ago that the world needed violin. Nowadays, if you make a violin in Europe, do it good or leave it. And I make violins in a certain way that if you have the chance to check out one which I adjusted, finished and adjusted and hand out me personal to you, take the time and check it out. I'm sure you will not regret it, and it will be a very surprising event and happening in your life. I hope you will take your time and soon you will have the chance to check out one of my instruments. Meanwhile, all the best, subscribe and stay tuned on this channel. Bye bye!